A very warm welcome to all our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful viewers of the podcast. These 2 weeks are for my family because it's my son's birthday is coming along, my birthday is coming along, and the start of the day. Today, I was supposed to take my son to this adventure park because I'm on annual leave, and that's why on Mondays I'm in the hospitals, and that's why you won't see me in the podcast. He's with his dad right now, not so very happy, not wanting to go out. What I really want to talk about is the unpredictabilities of parenting. So, who are you as a person in your daily life before you become a parent? So, I was somebody who wants to get things done. There's to do lists. I like predictability. I want to be prepared. I want to be in control. Red flag, red flag, red flag. All of these things literally make you go downhill with parenting. There's not much predictability with parenting. There are tears, there are fears, there's falling apart. There is so much noise out there. Like, I still remember with my son being almost a few days old, and there's a whole lot of discussion about in the family about, what's right while I'm breastfeeding. And I felt kind of intruded because I'm like, I don't want your advice. I do not want it. There's such a pressure to be this perfect mother. And at one point I was thinking, I want to be there for my child, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home mother because that's what I want to be 100% there for my child. I contemplated that idea for a while, and then what happened? I just realized that doesn't work for who I am. If I chose that, I'll become a resentful mother who is physically there for my child but mentally absent. Try and understand that you can thrive as a person yourself and still be the best mother that you can be. I am not using the word perfect. There is no perfect mother. No, there isn't. There is only one mother, one authentic version of a mother that you can be, being yourself. Allow yourselves to make mistakes because you will. Like everything else, mothering is a journey. Yes, you're told, you'll know by intuition, you will know by instinct what your child needs. Yes, you do. When they are born and, you're breastfeeding, you're helping them grow and all the other things. Yes, I agree, all of that. But then there are sleepless nights. When you don't sleep well at night, the days become a blur. So for me, I was working full time all throughout my pregnancy till 2 weeks before I gave birth to my son. And here I am. Like, this was peak COVID, and it was me and my son in UK. A father gets 2 weeks of paternity leave, which my husband did. But otherwise, it was just the two of us. Coming back, not about me, it is about you. What do we expect a mother to be? I would really want to share this. I am reading this book. I just started reading this book, and that's why I was so intrigued to do this podcast today rather than Thursdays that I come along. Raising a happy mother. Can you see? So this is by Anna Mathur, and she has actually struck child, and she's written mother. I have been about halfway through it, and tears were streaming my cheeks because I could resonate with just about everything. Just about everything. You know, the pressure we put on ourselves with our own motherhood fantasies are so real. So she actually asks you to write, what is this fantasy motherhood for you? You know? And for me, there are so many shoulds. So I actually wrote it down. I should be patient at all points of time. So there's a sentence that comes up, and it says, when I put myself down for being impatient, so my should is, I should always be patient. What if the impatience is coming from overwhelm or tiredness? Well, I don't even give myself the permission to feel that overwhelm or tiredness because I should be patient all the time. I love my child, you know. Even if I love my child, I'm still a human being. I'm still a human being. You are a human being. I'm a human being. We are here to learn, grow, and progress. Giving ourselves the permission to fail. It's okay, you know. Wanting that perfection, Anna Mathur says, is like wanting to walk on the tightrope, you know, the tightrope that it's always keeping you on your toes. How long can you stay like that? How long? 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, 2 months, 10 months, 12 months? You'll burn out. There's so much pressure from the television, from what other people say, from what your parents are doing. And I'll start by myself. So I chose to breastfeed my son for 15 months because I chose a extended maternity leave. Most of your parenting comes from maybe how you were parented as a child. So things you want to give your child and things like, I would never do it this way. So what the financial constraints were and what the reasons were, my mother had to go back to work when I was only 6 weeks old. So when I saw my son at 6 weeks old, I just, something broke my heart. And I'm like, how can you leave a 6 week old child and go back to work? I had a tough time facing that and a difficult conversation with my mother because obviously I wasn't very happy. A lot of healing work had to be done after that. So, okay, anyway, that was my decision. Coming back to it. So I got to meet somebody who chose to breastfeed for 3 months and then put their son in the nursery when they're 6 months old. So I thought, okay, if you're going back to work, okay, I'll still understand. But this person was not going back to work and still they chose this. And now when I look back, I judged them. I was like, why would you do that? You know, why? You're not going back to work. Why would you make that choice? Now, if I stand back, who am I to question that? Maybe that's the best that person can do at that point, and they're doing it. And that is their mothering journey, not mine. Who am I to judge? I think we judge ourselves even more harshly. So, as I said, I was somebody who was a perfectionist. I'm still a recovering perfectionist. There's a to do list. So now, as a parent, that does not work. For my Mondays and Tuesdays, I need to leave home by 7:30. So my son, he sleeps in time. He's woken up in time. But there are days, just last week, he doesn't want to have his clothes on. He doesn't want to have his nappy on. After we are just about to leave the house, he goes, I think I went to I went to the bathroom to wee, and he put water on his clothes. And this is the moment when we are supposed to leave the house, right? And here I am in full on overwhelm, looking at the clock. I need to leave the house. And remember my should. I need to be patient. Guess what happened? I was impatient. I was like, oh, we need to change clothes. And we changed clothes. And then later on in the day, I'm thinking, I'm such an impatient mother. Giving myself the permission to be human. Remember, I'll keep saying the same thing, giving yourself the permission to be human. So, although I met my husband in medical school. We have been together for a very long time, considering I'm going to be turning 39 soon. So, when I met him, I was 18. We have been married for 13 years now, out of which 10 years it was us. We used to work very hard, but weekends were ours. So we will go hiking or watch a movie or dinner or, something crazy or do skydiving. Now, 3 years back, our life completely changed. As parents, things were completely different. You know, Relationships become challenging because although we had been together for so long, we still struggled because this was like starting afresh, literally starting afresh. Although, when I met him, I was 18. We have been in as I said, it was still so challenging. Finding time for each other. Parenting ways can differ. Okay, let me tell you just this. He's very kind, the most affectionate father you can think of. My son told me, I like papa, I don't like mama. Okay. Realistically, this is a 3-year old just saying something. What did I do? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Immediately afterwards, I go in a corner and I cry. Why? Because my 3-year old said that I like papa, I don't like mama. That means I'm a bad mother. Come on. How many of us have done that with something similar happening? Don't do that to yourself. Your child telling you that they like you or dislike you does not define your motherhood. Learn, accept, and embrace that every single mother is doing the very best she can at that point of time. Maybe when you look back at your motherhood from, I don't know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you can easily say, oh, I could have done this better and that better. But guess what? You have grown in this time period. You have become an evolved version of yourself, and you are trying to judge and look back at things from there. Self compassion is profound in your parenting journey. Give yourself the love you so want to give your child. I still struggle, like, if he's crying about something, I want to fix it. I want to get it right. Okay, sometimes they just want to feel the feel. I have found that dealing and facing my own healing was so important to become, at least make an effort to become a better version of a parent for my child. Because I have given lots of exams in my life, but I think parenting is like a daily exam. And if you live in this flavor of perfection, in this rainbow of perfection, so for me it would look like, I've planned this amazing day with my child. Okay, great, we go out and we have soft play and adventure and have fun times by the seaside. And then what? At the end of the day, that one thing goes wrong, just that one thing. That's it, the perfect day is gone around the window. Parenting is not about perfection. Your motherhood is not about perfection. You wanting to give up who you are is not motherhood. Because trust me, right now in this moment, you're like, okay, that's it. I want to give everything to my child. Yes, okay, do that. But you still exist. Yes, you have become a mother, but that doesn't mean that you of the last 25 years, 30 years, 35 years doesn't exist anymore. Trust me, if you give up on your dreams, if you stop thriving yourself, at some point you'll start resenting your child. At least that's how I feel. Don't do that to yourself. Do the best you can on a daily basis. On a daily basis, which can change. It is not a constant, it can change on a daily basis. Journaling really helps. Journaling for yourself, not to show somebody, right? So, journaling what you felt, why you felt. Could you have handled the situation differently? Even if you could, what are the ways you can give yourself self compassion? So I took a day out for myself. Like, my son was having, okay, last week was challenging. Tuesday afternoon, Monday and Tuesday, I'm in the hospital. They're really, really busy days for me. So there was a phone call from the nursery at 11 o'clock, which the day was crazy busy. I literally got 15 minutes for my lunch. I don't know. The phone was on silent. I missed 3 o'clock. The nursery calls me that your son has had 5 loose stools and he really needs to be picked up in the next hour. I'm like, I can't leave the clinic in between. Okay. Fortunately, my husband wasn't having that busy a day. I phoned him. He went, he picked up our son. Next 2 days, I cancelled everything because Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have my commitments between 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and then I spend time with Avi. But I cancelled everything. 2 days, I was completely there with him. Fortunately, there was no fever or anything, so we had a great time. We went to parks, spent lovely time together. Now, from a very long time back, Friday was a day I had set for myself. I was going to go to Brighton and have a self care day. Now I'm thinking, what do I do? So he's all well. Friday, I drop him to the nursery. I am in the train going to Brighton, and my heart is split because this self care day was planned about a month or 2 months in advance, and these things happen. Fortunately, he's fine, he's well back to the nursery, but obviously, 2 days he was with me, now he's gone back. So I'm feeling mom guilt. I'm such a bad person. I am so selfish. Okay, the day went on, things were slightly better off. I go back. As I pick him at the nursery, his teacher tells me, "Oh, you know what? He hasn't been very happy today." My heart sinks even further. What a selfish mother I am. Just I took that one day out for myself. I'm saying all that not to rant here, but I'm just saying that's the reality of life. But if you're for your own sanity, if maybe in a month you don't take out that one day for yourself, you're not gonna, I don't know, it's not selfish. That's what I'm trying to say. Giving some time for yourself to fill in your own reserves, doing what you like doing is not selfish. Taking care of yourself, everybody talks about self-care, but people still don't understand how difficult it becomes as a mother, especially if you live in like, I don't know, I hail from India, but we settled in the UK for the last 13 years, and there's not much help at home as you would feel. I'm quite happy doing my things, that's not a problem. But the thing is, so my son basically has me and his father. So his either of his grandparents or nobody's around. So yesterday was a day where the bug he got from the nursery. So he is all okay, but then I was literally having loose stools through the night. And day before, I like literally I had about 15 loose stools. So I was feeling so much of weakness, and at the same time my husband's not feeling 100% either, and it's just the two of us, right? And my little one is very very active. So when you are full of energy, it's great, but here two parents are feeling down. What do? Unfortunately, love goes out of the window. Oh, can't you see I'm not feeling well? Can you not take care of him? So what I'm saying is, just coming back to it, not a rant of my personal life, but I'm just giving you the reality of things, because somehow when we post, all of us, when we post on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, we want to be inspirational and we want to tell all about the good things that are happening in life. I just wanted to share a real time motherhood journey, especially in the last week, which has been really challenging. At other times, when it's Wednesday to Friday, I have got my personal commitments with my clients as a coach, as a therapist. Which again, if there's a last minute change with my sons, I don't know, lots of things happen with kids, isn't it? They can have loose motions, they can have poos, they can have fever, and at the slightest drop of the hat, the nursery can't have them, and you don't want to send them. So Wednesday to Friday is okay. Mondays and Tuesdays, I need to be in the hospital, right? I am this diligent employee, the doctor whose patients are counting on them. But what happens when your child is ill? Inevitably, the expectation is that the mother should call in and say, I'm going to look after my child. Think about it. Should it be always the mother who is responsible to call in to her workplace and say, no, I can't come in because my child is ill? The problem is, if you still go back to work, your heart is half split with your child. Oh my God, I'm such a bad mother. So the problem is, if you don't go to work, you feel like, oh my God, I let all my patients down. They had to phone in and cancel all the appointments who had waited so long for these appointments. If I go in and my husband, I tell him, can you please look after him because I can't call in sick. I can't call in and say that my son is unwell. So if I go, I feel like a bad mother. If I don't go, I'm a bad doctor, bad clinician who is not thinking about her patients. How many of you have felt this as a mother, right? So I've been told all my life, how sincere I am, and how amazing, how empathetic I am with my patients. The problem is, as a parent, what choice do you make? This has been excruciatingly difficult. I just hail and pray that he does not feel ill or sick or anything like that on, especially on a Monday or Tuesday, because things become so challenging. I will stay back with him as far as possible. But when I cannot, when I'm like, no, I really need to go, I can't call in hospital, it's difficult to focus on anything. When they start nursery, I mean, I took an extended 18-month maternity leave, but when they start nursery, I still remember once they're settling in. So first it is 1 hour, then it is 2 hours, then it's half a session. The first time I left him inside for 1 hour, I sat in the car and cried for one whole hour. I have got this, you have got this. And guess what made? I think all of this came along together when my son just declared, I like Papa, I don't like Mama. So what happens inside is, do you know what I have gone through? In the last end of labor, I actually thought I'm going to die. I'm pretty sure all women have gone through labor. I actually thought I was going to die. So in that moment, I'm like, I went through labor, I went through pregnancy, I went through breastfeeding, I went through dropping you to the nursery and sitting there in the car and crying. I went through going back to work, relearning all the retinal lasers, all my clinical skills after 1.5 years. And you tell me I like Papa, I don't like Mama. But when you choose to be a parent, you don't choose that to prove anyone anything. I am not choosing to be a mother that I want to be to my child, even for his validation to tell me that, you know what, Mama, I love you or you are the best. No. Again, the only validation I need as a mother is from myself. Have I done the very best I could in that day, in that moment? And as I say, when I say your best, it changes from day to day. For me, it changes from Monday, Tuesday to the rest of the week, because Monday, Tuesday, I have to be out of the house with him at 7:30. My patience levels are unfortunately different than the rest of the week. First of all, anybody watching you, I want you to just send all your love, all your blessings to your own heart if you're a mom, for every time it broke, for every time it cried, for every night you were awake when your child was unwell and still went to work the next day. If not, for any mother your own mother, your sister, your best friend, maybe just give them a phone call and tell them, like, how much you are proud of them, you appreciate them, or maybe just tell them that they are enough. They do not need to prove anyone anything. And I just, after all of this, just one thing, if you see a child crying in a mall or, I don't know, in an airplane or anywhere, just don't stare at the parents. Just don't. It's extremely uncomfortable and debilitating. Don't do that. Do not judge anybody else's parenting or mothering, and do not judge yours. Be kind to yourself. You wanting to thrive, you having your own drive. You are a soul on your own journey. Okay? You don't have to shut it down just because you're a mother. Yeah? No, this was just about a month back. I was feeling guilty to have, my own callings, my own calling as a speaker, as an author, as a podcaster. No. You give yourself the permission to live, to love, to thrive, and to self care, to taking care of yourself. Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe once a month, you meet your best friend, spend some time with them. Maybe once in a day for 5 minutes, you journal, just journal, get it out of your head. Maybe looking at yourself in the morning or in the evening and telling yourself, you know what, I'm so proud of you. You did such a great job at being a mom to, your child today. Do what feels right for you. Because the thing is, the society is very judgmental. It's unlikely that, no, it's possibly very difficult for other people to understand your journey. Like, I actually respect homemakers because it is kind of selfless. Like, how many times is the question is there, a housewife is asked, oh yeah, she's just a housewife, what did she do? So I think what a housewife does somehow does not have value. So, I mean, it is extremely valuable, but from like the society we live in, we're like, yeah, okay, you just do that. Don't do that. And if you're a homemaker, great. If you're not, if you have career pursuits, great. Keep doing whatever you want to do. Let motherhood not change it. You can slow things down, you can pace things down, you can reduce your hours. Don't give up on yourself or your dreams or who you are. Don't lose yourself in your motherhood journey. Listen to that again. Do not lose yourself in your motherhood journey. Hear that again. Do not lose yourself in your motherhood journey. Do not. Give yourself the permission to be you. There are very many ways to be a mother, a good mother, an amazing mother. But there's only one way of being an authentic mother, which is just being you. Give yourself the love and self compassion, the permission to make a mistake. It's all right. I am extremely proud of you and I'm extremely proud of myself for the amazing, amazing, superb, spectacular mom that I am for my child. And him telling me that I like Papa and I don't like Mama. It's all right. Because I do not need validation and you do not need validation from anybody else to prove that you're such an amazing mom. Do not have a fantasy motherhood dream. And as I said, I would really, really recommend this book because this is one woman who is not advising or judging your motherhood, but it is about raising a happier child, which is struck, and its mother. It's about how to find balance, feel good, and see your children flourish as a result. And at the back, there's a line that says, Anna shows that caring for our own children begins with caring for ourselves. And it's time to replace exhaustion with empowerment. Far from being selfish, self care is an essential quality of a good parent. Pour it here, pour it here. Far from being selfish, self care is an essential quality of a good parent. The greatest gift you give your children and you is to give yourself the permission to thrive. The greatest gift you can give your children and you is to give yourself the permission to thrive. Keep believing in yourself, keep loving yourself, staying gentle with yourself, self compassion, compassion to yourself as a mother and to any mistakes. Try to find out how and where, which part of things can you let go of control a little bit. Because as you would understand, if you're on a mothering journey, there are very many things that you have no control over. How to be at peace with it. Okay. As I wrap up, I want you to give yourself a pat on the back for everything amazing you have done, being the spectacular, authentic mother that you are. If nobody told you today, I'm going to tell you you're awesome, you're amazing, you're spectacular. You've got this. And I want you to give yourself a bear hug for all the times that you fell down, for all the sleepless nights, for all the nights where, tears had to be wiped off in the morning, makeup put on to look presentable at work, for all the times you felt misunderstood or judged. Give yourself a bear hug. Love yourself like your life depends on it, and it stays the same for a mother. It stays the same for a mother. It was so great connecting with you. Spectacular, amazing, awesome. See you again very, very soon. Bye bye.